Stop scrolling for just a moment and be honest with yourself. How much of your emotional energy, your mental space, is still being spent on a conversation that may never happen? Are you still meticulously editing a mental script? The perfect words, the perfect explanation, the perfect apology that you believe will finally set you free? If you are, you're not alone. Most of us have been taught that closure is the final, essential key to healing. We've been told it's a door only someone else can unlock. And we wait at that door, sometimes for months, sometimes for years. Convinced that if we could just get the right conversation, the right apology, the right explanation, then everything inside us would finally make sense. The pain would make sense. The ending would make sense. We would be able to let go. But I'm here to tell you a truth that is both challenging and profoundly liberating. You don't need closure, at least not the kind you think you do. You need acceptance. The problem with chasing closure from the outside is that it turns your healing journey into a hostage negotiation. You hand the power, the ignition switch to your emotional car, over to the very person or situation that caused the pain. You are essentially saying, "My peace is conditional upon your words." And the truth is, closure doesn't always come from another person. Think about what we're really looking for when we say we want closure. We often think we're looking for answers. We're looking for a detailed diagram of why it happened. But deep down, what we're truly looking for is relief. Relief from the confusion. Relief from the emotional weight that settles on your chest. Relief from the deafening silence that follows an abrupt ending. Relief from the emptiness that loss tends to leave behind. We want someone to stand up and say, "This is why it happened. This is why I treated you like that. This is why I left." We want something concrete, something we can point to and say, "See? That's the reason. That's why it hurts. Now I can put the box away." But life doesn't always give us that neat, bow-wrapped story. Here is the hard, empathetic truth about why waiting for external closure is a trap that keeps you stuck in the past. Not every person who hurt you understands what they did. They may be too immature, too defensive, or too emotionally unavailable to grasp the full impact of their actions. Not every person who left knows why they couldn't stay. Sometimes people are driven by their own unprocessed pain, fear, or self-sabotage. Their reason is a mess of confusion, not a clear answer you can use. Not every person who broke you is capable of seeing the breaking. They might genuinely believe they did nothing wrong, or they might simply lack the emotional capacity to offer the deep, validating apology you deserve. When you wait for an epiphany from them, you are placing your entire mental health and healing on their unpredictable timeline and their limited capacity. And sometimes, chasing closure becomes a sophisticated way of holding on. It gives you a reason to keep the phone number saved, to keep checking their social media, to keep replaying the scenes in your head. It's a loop that prevents you from realizing you have the power to stop the real. Closure isn't a long emotional conversation. Closure is a realization. It is a pivot point in your spirit where you turn away from the past and face the future. It is the realization that you may never get the apology. You may never hear the reason that makes perfect logical sense. You may never be able to make sense of what was done to you. And yet, you can still move forward. This is where the transformative power of acceptance steps in. This is a crucial distinction when dealing with grief and loss. Acceptance is not a soft, simple surrender. It is a powerful, active choice. It is not saying, "It didn't matter," or "It didn't hurt," or "It was fine." True, honest acceptance is saying, "It mattered, it hurt, it changed me, and I will learn to live, grow, and thrive anyway." Acceptance is choosing to stop reopening the wound in your mind, trying to rewrite what has already ended. You cannot negotiate with reality, but you can decide how you respond to it. Acceptance is choosing peace, even when you didn't get a proper goodbye. It is choosing yourself, even when someone didn't choose you back. I know this feels unfair. I know it feels heavy. Your heart wants answers because your heart fundamentally wants safety and control. When things are confusing, the world feels unsafe. But look at the true sequence of healing. Closure doesn't come first, it comes after healing, not before. Because closure is not something you passively receive, it's something you actively decide. It's that quiet, resolute moment when your spirit finally says, "I may not understand all of it, I may not understand the full story, but I am done carrying it. I am putting this heavy, confusing backpack down." And as you step into that space, slowly, gently, you'll realize something beautiful and absolutely true. The peace you were desperately searching for in someone else's words, in their explanation, in their validation, was always something you were meant to give yourself. You don't heal by reopening the story again and again, hoping for a different ending. You heal by learning to be your own anchor, by learning to stay with yourself through the uncomfortable, unfinished nature of the ending. This is the path to emotional freedom. So if you're listening right now, take a deep, slow breath with me. Inhale calm, exhale the story you keep replaying. And as you exhale, I want you to whisper these 3 things softly as a commitment to your own self-love and healing. I release the need to understand everything. I deserve to move forward. I accept what I cannot change. This is Cypress Speaks, the healing mind, a space where we learn to soften into ourselves, reclaim our power, and choose peace one gentle breath at a time. Thank you for listening.